Welcome to a module on managing applications. The first topic that will be broached seems very obvious, still is extremely vital to all. The previous modules provided ample proof that outdated software is an easy target for automated attacks. Penetrating a vulnerable system will be neither time-consuming nor costly for a potential attacker. All it takes to take over a PC is to use freely available tools. They will see to it in 5 minutes or less. Not a great challenge by any means. As you know, programs are not perfect. An all-out secure program is an application that has no bugs or flaws at all. This is rarely achieved. To combat this issue, software companies release security updates for their products on a regular basis. Microsoft has throughout the years sculpted a well-designed and seemingly efficient policy. In the past, security updates would be released immediately after they were developed and tested. This meant that an administrator would never know if there would be half a day's work ahead of him spent on testing and implementing potential updates. Updates were a surprise for both administrators and users. This method was amended some years ago. Updates are now released in monthly cycles, and it's a rare occurrence if an update is released outside this cycle. If this happens, it means that the bug has already been detected and there are tools on the internet for delivering an attack that exploits the bug. Microsoft needs to act at once in that case. Fortunately, this is not a very frequent problem. Consider the diagram above. Think about what it represents. This in theory is how a cycle of developing and publishing security updates should look like. If this strategy is put into effect, this would be the best option and an ideal solution for us. The initial point is the discovery of the security flaw in a system. The person who identifies it should report it. The information should not be published on the internet, but reported to an appropriate software producer. Many people understand this rule and act on it. Software producers' reaction to a report is a different matter. It can be diverse as well. It might happen that the researcher who reports on a bug is ignored for months and months, and only when the information is finally taken to the internet, the producer wakes up to the threat and takes proactive steps to battle it and cooperate with the researcher. When a security-critical problem is identified in their software, the producer starts to work on developing an update, fixes and hotfixes that aim to eliminate the bug. At this point, we're in the second window of the graph. The risk that the bug will be exploited by an automated attack is still relatively low. If you assume a perfect scenario, this risk could as well be non-existent. The only people aware of this problem are the person who reported on it and the software company that's working to remove it. Microsoft documents their updates as well. They are then described in knowledge articles that are publicly available. The point of this is to give administrators and users a chance to make an informed decision whether or not they need to install a specific update by considering if they are directly affected and if a detected flaw has bearing on their security policy. At the time of release of a knowledge article, an update is also released. This marks the beginning of an arms race between the administrator, who needs to implement the update in time and eliminate the threat, and the people that will want to exploit the bug in other people's systems. This is because while source code analysis of Office Suite, of Microsoft Word, or of the entire Windows system is quite time-consuming and rarely tried, a security update is as little as several or several dozens of kilobytes of code. An analysis of this amount is not strenuous. There are many people who will devote a day or two to study the changes brought about by the code. If you will know what problem is eliminated by a given code, you'll know the nature of the problem itself. At this stage, we're in the next to last section of the paragraph. You need to be aware that some of the people who discover the nature of the bug, the security flaw, will try to make use of it. Thanks to this knowledge, they will be able to develop automated tools that exploit a given flaw. Proof of concept type code would start to appear then. The code would then be developed further and be automated by the same people or by others, since the code is now published and widely available. The risk is now very high. We'll try to think in a moment how much time has passed until we've got here. If you haven't eliminated the flaw, you're an easy target now. To run an attack, it's enough to open a browser, enter a phrase in your favorite search engine, download a ready-made tool, and run it. That's all there is to it. Let's now consider, briefly, the length of time between the outline stages in the race. As we mentioned, reaction time between reporting a flaw and a hotfix and update preparations differs greatly. It might take a week, but it might take 3 months as well. This is decided on by a software company entirely. Statistics show that Microsoft is doing well in this regard. There are some companies that have known for a year of reported security-critical flaws and vulnerabilities and still have not taken any steps to safeguard their products. Testing and developing an update takes a month in the case of Microsoft. Why so long? Operating systems and most of the code provided by this company runs on many copies. Many PCs that have different settings. Proving or at least making sure that an update is secure might take a bit long. If a swifter reaction is required, security bulletins and internal updates are released. The updates are not the same as the updates that are automatically available, for example, at the Windows Update site. You can request them online, however, either by submitting a form or sending an email. In this case, you will receive a custom security update. A custom security update usually eliminates less popular problems that occur only in some specific configurations or specific environments. They are not available for everyone, because the problem they address pertains to a small portion of a customer base and because they have not been extensively tested. In that case, a small audience lessens the risk that something will go wrong. As regards the last part of the graph, things get really quick at this point. Experience shows that there is a day or two, no more, between an update release and developing a proof of concept code, an exploit. Automating an attack takes another day or even a few hours. This depends on what the flaw relates to. Even if it seems you can take time to react, there's usually no time to lose.